The Broncos have made their move. 12 names, 12 players who now wear the badge of Denver's practice squad. For weeks, fans wondered who would stay, who would go, and who would fight to keep their dream alive in orange and blue. Now the picture is clear. The headline? Quarterback Sam Ehlinger. He had chances, real opportunities, to step onto a 53-man roster elsewhere. But he turned them down. Why? Because he chose Denver. He chose Sean Payton. He chose Bo Nix. He chose the culture being built at Mile High. That decision speaks volumes. It tells you about belief, about trust, and about something special being formed inside this locker room. From the preseason, Ehlinger delivered. Sharp, confident, steady. He wasn't perfect. Jarrett Stidham and Bo Nix had stronger outings, but his presence is undeniable. And now he's here to stay, at least for now, as a key piece of the Broncos' depth and preparation. This practice squad isn't just a list of names. It's a statement. A message that Denver is building from the ground up, keeping fighters, believers, and players who want to be part of something bigger. Sam Ehlinger's preseason wasn't just good, it was electric. The highlight? A wild play against the Saints. He danced through the pocket, slipped past pressure, and let the ball fly into the end zone. KJ Hamler hauled it in for a touchdown. It was the kind of throw that makes coaches drop their clipboards and fans shake their heads in disbelief. You can't teach that. You can only witness it. That's why keeping Ehlinger matters. He's not just depth, he's a spark. A quarterback who brings chaos, creativity, and belief when the moment demands it. The next name? Jaden Robinson, a young corner who adds something this roster needs badly: depth. Denver kept only 5 cornerbacks on the 53-man roster. In today's NFL, some teams carry 7. Injuries pile up fast at corner and linebacker, 2 of the most punishing spots on defense. Having insurance at those positions is more than strategy, it's survival. And then there's the trenches. The Broncos brought back veteran lineman Calvin Throckmorton. Steady, proven, reliable. He didn't even have to pass through waivers thanks to his veteran status. He's the kind of presence every team needs, a pro's pro who can step in when the battles up front get nasty. Denver's practice squad isn't just filling space. It's layering security, building toughness, and keeping the engine running behind the scenes. Calvin Throckmorton's preseason told a fascinating story. His run blocking? Dominant, consistently graded in the 90s. His pass protection? Struggled. The numbers reflected it, strong going forward, shaky moving backward. That contrast probably explains why he's here on the practice squad. Denver's offensive line depth is one of the strongest in years, and Throckmorton adds to that foundation. Defensively, 2 names worth highlighting. Jordan Miller, a big body at nose tackle, waiting behind DJ Jones if his number is called, and Jordan Turner, a linebacker who represents exactly what this roster needs: depth at a position that always takes the hits. In a league where one injury can flip a season, having players like Turner waiting in the wings is essential. As for the rest of the practice squad, the Broncos rounded out the list with Michael Bandy, a receiver who brings energy and fight. Reese Taylor, adding to the secondary's depth. Adam Prentice, a fullback who keeps the old-school toughness alive. A.T. Perry, returning to Denver after showing flashes of potential. Delarrin Turner-Yell, a safety with versatility and speed. Caleb Lohner, depth in the trenches. LaVale Bailey, a young linebacker fighting to carve out a role. Each of these names represents more than just practice squad bodies. They're the foundation behind the scenes, the hidden heartbeat of the roster. These are the players who push the starters in practice, who stay ready for the call, and who remind you that in the NFL, depth is survival. There was one player I truly believed would make the 53-man roster. Instead, he lands on the practice squad, and right now, he might be the best player Denver has stashed there. Outside of Sam Ehlinger, no one carries more immediate value. Different positions, yes, but the same importance. Depth you can trust when the call comes. And with the practice squad set, the next storyline begins. The waiver wire. Did the Broncos make claims? Who slipped through and who's been added? This is where front offices earn their keep. The NFL isn't just about who starts on Sundays, it's about the constant churn, the decisions that shape depth charts and decide seasons. Now let's break down the waiver wire, one of the most misunderstood parts of NFL roster building. Think of it as a draft, but for players who've been cut. Here's how it works. Veteran players with at least 4 accrued seasons like Calvin Throckmorton are not placed on waivers. They're released outright, immediately free to sign with any team in the league. Sometimes they even return to the same roster after front offices shuffle pieces around. Younger players with fewer than 4 seasons of experience go through the waiver system. That means every team in the NFL has a chance to claim their contract based on draft order from the previous year. If no team claims them, they clear waivers and become free agents, free to sign anywhere, including back with the practice squad of the team that cut them. Take a player like Courtney Jackson. Not enough experience to bypass waivers, so he had to go through the process. Once he cleared, he became available, and Denver had the chance to bring him back into the fold. This is the chess game behind the curtain, the constant balancing act of experience, contracts, and opportunity. It's the part of roster building fans don't always see, but it decides who stays, who leaves, and who gets that one more shot to prove they belong. Not every player cleared waivers and made it back to Denver. 2 Broncos are gone for good: Dearius Mathis, claimed by the Carolina Panthers, and Xavier Truss, who now heads to the Saints. Both found new homes, leaving Mile High behind. Then there's Courtney Jackson. He had options, and he chose to test the waters, chasing a spot on a 53-man roster elsewhere. Jackson lit up the preseason, showing speed, toughness, and playmaking ability. He wanted more than a practice squad role, and you can't blame him. Players like him dream bigger, and he earned that chance. Another name to watch is Audric Esteen. His preseason wasn't quite as explosive as Jackson's, but he's another young talent looking to crack a roster somewhere else. Still, Jackson's story lingers. Action Jackson, as fans began to call him, brought energy to every snap. He could have been a weapon on special teams, maybe even a rotational receiver in Denver's offense. Instead, he's betting on himself. And in the NFL, that gamble is sometimes the only way forward. As of now, Denver's practice squad sits at 12 names. This is far from over. More moves will come, more players will shuffle in and out, and the roster we see today won't be the same roster we see tomorrow. That's the nature of this league. Constant motion, constant change. One final note before we close, and it's news that could impact the AFC West race. The Kansas City Chiefs will be without their top wide receiver, Rashee Rice, for the first 6 games of the season due to legal issues. During that stretch, the Chiefs face the Chargers, Eagles, Giants, Ravens, Jaguars, and Lions, all tough opponents. For Kansas City, it's a significant blow. Travis Kelce is still great, but he's not getting younger. Without Rice, defenses can key in on Kelce even more, forcing the Chiefs to search for answers elsewhere. For Denver, that's a window of opportunity. The balance of power in the AFC West has long tilted toward Kansas City. But in a league where margins are razor thin, losing a playmaker like Rice could be the kind of crack that opens the door. In the NFL, fortunes can shift in an instant. And for the Broncos, any stumble by the Chiefs is a chance to climb closer to the top.